Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Inshallah, in today's session, we are going to continue the previous topic on Sharia contracts for Islamic financial instruments. But in this session, we are going to discuss about the several category of contracts which are available in the Sharia. So we are going to discuss the sale and debt-based financing, then the partnership contract financing, and last but not least, the supporting contracts. So with regards to the exchange contracts, kalau you tengok di sini, we have a different Sharia contract that falls under the category of exchange contracts. So the first one is the Murabahah contracts. The Murabahah contracts. The Murabahah contracts. This one. Second one is the Baik Bisaman Ajil, or popularly known as BBA. Baik Bisaman Ajil. And then we have Baik Al-Inah. We also have the Tawarruk, Baik Al-Salam, Baik Al-Sarf, Baik Al-Dain, and Baik Al-Istisna. So we are going to discuss each and every contracts listed here. So the first one is the Baik al-Murabahah. So Murabahah is basically a sale at cost plus markup. So in the contract of Murabahah, so it's important for the seller to disclose the cost and profit, because that is very essential to the Murabahah contracts. If there is no disclosure, if the seller did not disclose the cost and profit that he is taking from the contracts, from the sale, so the Murabahah contract is not going to be known as Murabahah, but it is just an ordinary sale, or we name it as Bai'ul Musawamah. So in others name, Murabahah is also a trust sale, Bai'ul Amanah. And so any dishonesty in the disclosure of cost and profit, so it would render to the sale contract to be invalid. So if it is named as Murabahah and without disclosure of cost and profit, so the Murabahah sale contract is going to be invalid. So this is an illustration of the Murabahah sales. So the buyer purchased an item at 1,000 ringgit. So the buyer here, the A buyer has purchased an item at 1,000 ringgit, and then he sold it to another party. So another party is B at 1,000 ringgit plus the 100 ringgit. So 1,000 ringgit is the cost and 100 ringgit is the profit. So he must disclose the amount of cost and also the amount of profit. So he need to disclose the original cost and the profit charged to the price. So buyer here means he buy it from somebody else. Maybe we call it here C. C. So buyer here buy it from C. So when the contract Murabahah took place, so the buyer is going to be the seller to the another party. So in the sale of Murabahah, so buyer ni actually dia akan jadi seller lah, jadi seller, and then another party ni akan jadi the buyer. So that is the essence of Murabahah contracts. It's very simple. So this is an example of Murabahah transaction flow as practiced by the banking institution. So in this case, the customer here, so he want to buy, for example, here we say want to buy a car. He want to buy a car. Goods here, maybe we can identify it as a car. So you want to buy a car, and then he identify the car from the kalau kereta ni we call the supplier as the car dealer, car dealer. So identify from car dealer. So from car dealer, so for example, the myvi price is the car is myvi, for example 60k. The price of the car is 60k. So he identified the myvi from dealer, and then he approached the financier for financing. Number 2, he approached the financier for financing, and then so the financier, after assessing the credit capability of the customer, the financier then will purchase the goods on the spot. On the spot mean cash basis lah. Akan beli secara cash daripada dealer. So dalam the third leg ni, here is spot payment. Spot payment is cash basis lah. So in this case, when the financier make purchase of the myvi car, so what will happen is actually the ownership. This is one is very important thing about the Sharia contracts. The ownership of the contract. Sorry, I'm using mouse to write this one. So the ownership of the car will transfer from the dealer to the financier. To the financier. So the financier after owning the myvi, so the financier will sell the myvi to customer. So in this case, it is on a deferred payment. Deferred payment means secara bertangguh. On deferred payment. So after concluding the Murabahah, so this one will be called as Murabahah. This one is the Murabahah transaction. Murabahah transaction. So in this case, the Murabahah, when the Murabahah contract being concluded, so the financier is the seller, whereby the customer is the buyer. So the seller have to disclose the cost and the profit that he is charging from the customer. So that is the total Murabahah selling price. So dekat sini nanti akan ada Murabahah, total Murabahah selling price, and then the customer will pay the financier on a deferred payment term. Deferred payment term dibayar secara bertangguh lah. For example, if the financing tenure, tempoh pembiayaan tu ialah 9 tahun. 9 tahun bersamaan dengan 108 bulan. So the customer will make payment to the financier for 108 months, which is the total will be equivalent to the total Murabahah selling price. So that is the example of how Murabahah financing took place in a car financing as offered by the banking institution. Next, we move on to the al-Inah. So al-Inah previously has been the most popular Sharia contract applied by the banking institutions. So al-Inah is basically a sale whereby the seller sells his asset to the buyer at an agreed selling price to be paid by the buyer at a later date. Therefore, the buyer immediately sells the asset to the thereafter. So this is the first leg of the al-Inah. So al-Inah ni dia ada 2 leg. Nanti saya akan tunjukkan. It has 2 leg of sales transaction, whereby the first leg of the transaction is going to be on deferred basis, deferred payment, and the second leg will be on the cash basis. So this is the first leg of the Bai'ul Inah. And this one, thereafter, the buyer immediately sells back the assets. Buyer immediately sells back the asset to the seller at a cash price. The cash price is lower than the agreed selling price. Agreed selling price referring to the first transaction. So this is the second transaction. The second transaction. So this is the second transaction. The difference between the spot and the deferred prices is the profit due to the seller. So it is a combination of two contracts as I mentioned earlier. So the first one is cash sales. This one cash sale, and the first one is credit sales. First one is credit sales, and then the second one will be cash sales. However, it involves only one single property or one single assets and two same contracting parties. Two same contracting parties. So kalau kita nak tengok ni, saya boleh cuba kita boleh cuba tengokkan, kita boleh cuba tengok dalam sini kita boleh tengok Bai'inah images. So this is the transaction of Bai'ul Inah. Transaction of Bai'ul Inah. Okay, this one. Okay, I hope you can see this one. Kita cuba besarkan sikit. Okay. Okay, Bai'ul Inah has applied in Malaysia. So bank here is the original owner of the asset. For example, last time bank have an asset, so the bank will sell the asset to a customer at 30,000 ringgit for 60 monthly installments of 500 ringgit. So this means this is on a credit transaction. So bank jual aset tu daripada customer, harganya 30,000, akan dibayar oleh customer kepada bank dalam tempoh 60 bulan. And then the ownership will be transferred. So as mentioned earlier, ownership is very important in any syariah contracts. So dalam kes ni ownership akan berpindah lah. Ownership asset ni akan berpindah daripada bank kepada customer. And then debt is created for this transaction. Maksudnya customer dalam kes ni ownership walaupun telah berpindah kepada customer, tetapi hutang customer berhutang dengan bank sebanyak 30,000 ringgit yang akan dibayar selama 60 bulan. And then the second leg, this is the first leg that we discussed just now. First leg, and then the second leg here is whereby the customer resell the asset. This is the same asset. Same asset to bank at 20,000 ringgit, which is reduction from the original price that he purchased the asset for immediate cash settlement. It is for immediate cash settlement. And then the ownership is transferred back to the bank. So ownership first leg tadi dah berpindah kepada customer, and then in the second leg here customer will sell back the asset to the bank. In this case, customer will receive 20,000 cash, which he will use this cash for the purpose he need, and then the ownership of the asset will be transferred back to the bank. So apabila telah selesai, when all these these two transactions, first and second transaction completed, so the end result would be the customer will have 20,000 ringgit cash, and then the ownership of the asset is transferred back to the bank as the original owner, and then the third consequences would be the customer is indebted to the bank for 30,000 ringgit, which will be paid um, according to the financing tenure, for example, in this case, is 60 monthly installments. Yep. So that's how the Al-Inah transaction took place in the Islamic banking. Previously, I think it's more than 90% of Islamic banking financing asset is more than 90% of financing asset of the Islamic banks in the form of Al-Inah. But nowadays they are reducing. I'm not sure whether it is still Al-Inah transaction, but nowadays they have move on towards the Tawarruk. Tawarruk financing. So we also will discuss Tawarruk financing in this in the next few slides. We will just skip this slide, but it is worth to mention that Al-Inah is regarded by some Islamic scholars as a forbidden sale contract. So it is due to riba element and hilah, for example. But in Malaysia, Al-Inah is mostly applied in some of the short-term financing and investment instrument. The few banks maybe still offering these products, but I don't think the amount is big. Next, we move on to Al-Istisna. Al-Istisna. So Al-Istisna here is literally means to request. To request someone to manufacture the asset. Two keywords here. First is to request, and then the request is to manufacture an asset. For example, a house, a factory. So technically, Al-Istisna means a contractual agreement with the manufacturer to produce items which specified, this is the keyword, specified description. So produk yang hendak dibangunkan, hendak dibina, mestilah dinyatakan secara jelas apakah dia description, maksudnya ciri-ciri details produk tersebut bagaimana, dan at a determined price, pada harga yang telah ditetapkan, and manufactured from his own material. So barang yang digunakan untuk membina bangunan ataupun rumah tadi mestilah dimiliki oleh manufacturer himself, bukannya orang yang membuat order tadi. So that is the meaning of Al-Istisna. So the basic rules and conditions of Al-Istisna is the object to be manufactured must be precisely determined. The object precisely determined. Its type, kind, quality, and also the quantity. So in the case, for example, the construction of house using Al-Istisna contracts. So the person who make the order and also the manufacturer should agree on the type and kind and also the quality and quantity of the contract. Contoh buat rumah tadi, so the house must be very specific, how much door, how much windows, what is the size of the house, for example in terms of square feet, how much is the square feet of the house, and then the material used for the building of that house. So this kind of details, the quality of the house should be mentioned in the order, in the Istisna sales contract. The object of an Istisna contract must be something that the people are familiar with to contract it on the basis of an Istisna contract. Mestilah benda yang familiar. The material should be supplied by the manufacturer. If they are provided by the buyer, the contract is deemed as ijarah and not Istisna. So that's why I mentioned that materials that are going to be used for the construction of the house must be supplied by the manufacturer. Bukanlah disupply oleh buyer. If it is supplied by the buyer, so the contract is not going to be known as istisna. Instead, they are going to be known as ijarah. Ijarah ni ialah buyer akan upah manufacturer untuk membina rumah itulah ya. And then the place of delivery should be specified. Tempat barang tu akan deliver mesti specified, and then also the time should be specified. Next, we move on to Al-Salam. Al-Salam is a forward sale contract. Forward sale contract technically means sale contracts whereby the seller undertakes to sell some specific commodities. So it involves commodity. Al-Salam normally involves commodities to the buyer at an agreed future date. Ini dipersetujui, harganya telah dipersetujui pada masa sekarang, tetapi penyerahan barang tu, delivery of the item is going to be on a future date. And the price fully paid in advance on spot basis. Jadi the price of the commodities will be paid on the spot basis sekarang. However, the delivery of the commodities is on a future date. So this is known as the Al-Salam. However, the basic rules and conditions should be fulfilled in order for the Al-Salam to be considered as a valid contract. So these conditions is related to the price of the commodity, so mesti dipersetujui harganya, and then related to the purchased commodity, barang yang dibeli tu, komoditi yang dibeli tu mestilah jelas dan berapa timbangannya, and then the date and also the place of delivery. Masa bila 3 bulan akan datang, 6 months ahead, ataupun normally commodities contract ni be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So that is the commodity. So buy or salam contracts. So buy or salam contracts is actually different from the Murabahah contracts and whatnot, because it is a sale contract, but the asset is still not available at the point of contract. Okay, next we move on to buy-ud-dain. So buy-ud-dain is a sale of debt. Sale of debt in the secondary market at a discounted price. Pada harga yang telah dikurangkan, diberikan diskaun. So it is done on spot basis or cash basis or on a credit basis on deferred price. So the sale or purchase of a quality debt, low default risk and from Sharia compliant transaction. So for example, this is mostly applied in the bank in the case of sale of the financing. Financing tu dia package kan, dia dilonggokkan sekali, kemudian dia jual kepada pihak-pihak yang ingin membeli financing package tu. Di dalam ada banyak financing existing financing facility, and then this existing financing facility will be grouped together. We call it as securitized, and then these are going to be sell to another party. Another party ni akan membeli aset tu pada harga normally at a discounted price. So this is normally for the purpose of liquidity membantu kecairan duit di dalam bank. So bank are in need of these contracts for that kind of purpose. Another example of the application would be the sukuk. Sukuk, especially sukuk which are sold at a secondary market. Sukuk ni dia ada primary market, kemudian ada secondary market. Primary market would be the the issuance, the first issuance of the sukuk, and then the subscriber, the primary subscriber can sell the sukuk to a secondary market. Dalam secondary market ni ada buyer lain, ada pembeli-pembeli sukuk yang lain. So we'll sell the primary subscribers of the sukuk will sell the asset to the secondary market. However, the price of the sukuk would be at a discounted price. So so I mentioned it is used for liquidity purposes. Liquidity purposes. So when bank sell its asset, its financing assets, so instead of getting back the cash upon because most all the financing assets are in a deferred term payment. So deferred term payment maksudnya bayaran secara bertangguh. So bank akan terima, for example, 100 million ringgit at a staggered basis on deferred payment dalam tempoh beberapa tahun. Tapi because of the availability of bank Udain punya contracts, so bank can package all this financing existing financing asset and then sell this financing asset to another party at a discounted price. However, all the price will, the bank will get the amount, the sale price at on the spot. Dia dapat secara on the spot lah. So in this case, bank akan dapat tambah liquidity, kecairan di dalam bank. So with that bank boleh buat business yang lain lah, boleh extend the financing dan sebagainya. Next we move on to buy al-Sarf. So buy al-Sarf is a sale of money for money. Sale of money for money. Sale of money for, sorry ada interframe sikit. It is a sale of money for money or an exchange of money with money in the same or different currencies, such as sale of gold for gold and or silver for silver. So this is related to the ribawi item in the hadith that we have discussed earlier. The financing of gold and gold, silver for silver, and then another items which falls under the staple foods category. So in this case, it is also applicable to the money which exists nowadays in our modern time. So for example, if you want to exchange USD to MYR, to ringgit to MYR, sorry ramai pula interface, to MYR, Malaysian ringgit. So the basic rules and conditions, so in this case if we want to sell USD to get the Malaysian ringgit, so the condition is the possession before taking possession before leaving one another, because the condition of exchange of monetary item ataupun medium of exchange ni mestilah berlaku on the spot basis. That is the condition as mentioned in the hadith regarding the ribawi item. And then in the case if the item is the same, the amount is the same, USD to USD, so it is must be for equal transaction, mestilah sama jumlahnya. And then it is must be freedom from khiyar asyart. Khiyar asyart ni tak boleh meletakkan syarat lah dalam apa nama ni kontrak tu. And then must be non-deferment. Non-deferment is referring to spot basis. So that is the sale of currency. The sale of currency ni basically normally kita tengok dekat money changer biasa buat buy al-Sarf ni. Lepas tu kalau kita pergi money changer, kita tengok dia bukan exchange apa, Bukan dia akan tulis kat situ sell by berapa kan, sell USD berapa sama dengan buy berapa ringgit pada hari ini kan. So kita sebab itu term yang paling betul ialah sale of currency. So sale of currency ni ada few syariah issues, but we are not going to discuss this one. Last, I think this is the last contract under another two contracts. So we have this in this case the Bai'ut Tawarruk. Bai'ut Tawarruk ni is a replacement as bank negara decide it is not bank negara decision, but it is industry practice that Bai'ut Tawarruk is replacing the Al-Inah contracts in the offering of financing products such as the personal financing, even house financing. So Bai'ut Tawarruk ni is a bit complicated. I have to show some diagrams to all of you. Show some diagram. Tawarruk. Right, this is the Tawarruk transaction. This is an example of the Tawarruk transaction. Okay, this one. Okay, in this case, sorry, this is reverse Tawarruk. So in this case, this is a reverse Tawarruk. Reverse Tawarruk is normally applied in the deposit products, right? Deposit products. So in this case, the customer appoints Islamic financial institution as an agent. An agent to do what? An agent to purchase commodity. So in this case, customer will deposit money to the IFI, Islamic financial institutions, and then with that money, the money is from the customer, and that money the IFI will purchase the commodity. So IFI purchase commodity as an agent to the customer. The purchase is made from the supplier number one. So with that purchase and the payment, so supplier will deliver commodity to IFI, and then customer will be notified on his ownership of the commodity, and then customer will then appoint again IFI to sell the commodity. Customer will sell the commodity to IFI. So the sale is going to be on a deferred price lah. Dekat sini tadi cash. Here it is cash transaction. However, when the customer sell the asset to IFI, the commodity to IFI, so this sales is on deferred payment. So it is based on cost price plus profit. So here it's going to be a Murabahah sale contract. So Tawarruk is a hybrid contracts where there are several type of sale contracts occurred in the whole transaction. So I think there are going to be 3 sales transactions. This is the first leg of the sale transaction. From customer sell the asset to the IFI. This is the second sale transaction. IFI sell the asset to the commodity to the supplier number 2. This is going to be the third transaction. So here, after customer sells the commodity to IFI, so IFI will pay the customer on a deferred basis. On a deferred basis. So here, especially because this is reverse Tawarruk, is applied in the deposit contract. So it's normally this is the principal deposited plus the profit or dividend for the customer. And then IFI after gaining the ownership of the commodity, so IFI will sell the asset to the second supplier. Yeah. So in this case, IFI will receive cash. IFI receive cash, and then the cash received by IFI will be used for the IFI business activities such as giving financing and whatnot. So this is how the tawarruk transaction apply in the banking area. Next, we move on to the ijarah. So ijarah is also one of the exchange contract. However, the exchange contract is not on the asset. However, the exchange of contract is on the usufruct, the ownership of usufruct of the asset. Usufruct ni ialah dia punya kegunaan aset tu lah ya. So it is a contract. So it is a contract for the transfer of ownership of usufruct for compensation. Compensation ni ialah payment lah payment yang diterima daripada sewaan. Ijarah is a sewaan So in the case of banking services, so normally we can see the ijarah contract being applied in the car financing. Normally we can see the contract name as ijarah summa al-bai'. There's two contract in the financing facility. The first one is ijarah and the second one is the sales contract. So ijarah ni at the first stage ijarah, so the bank will lease the car ataupun any assets to the customer at an agreed lease price, the agreed rental price. So after several months ataupun after, for example, 9 years of leasing period, so at the end of the tenure, so the customer will make the final payment, which is equivalent to the selling price. So with that last contract, that is all different syariah contracts that falls under the exchange contracts that we have discussed and covered in this session. So in next session, we are going to discuss about the partnership contract and also some supporting contracts which can be found in the Islamic banking institution. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.